Hello and welcome to Second Amendment Sis. You are watching our live podcast. I'm Stephanie Rivers and Phyllis Petit is my co-host. Hey Phyllis.
Hello, how are you?
Hope your week is going well.
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty
Well,
good. I'm ready to get past January. Yeah.
So
How about
is
you?
it it's actually going faster than I thought. I mean, next week is practically February, right? So
Yes, same
already
practically it is as of Tuesday. Yes.
exactly. So all is well. Just trying to keep up with all the activities that we have got going on. Our show, we're almost coming up on our 1 month anniversary. Get
Are we?
excited!
You know what? I was trying to look back at and remember like how long, because people have asked me, how long have you guys been doing this? And I was like, I think maybe a month. And they were like, it seems like forever. I was like, it does, huh? It really does.
I
That
know.
was a quick month. A
And
lot
we've got
has
some
happened.
great things coming up next month. But today we've got a special guest who's going to come to us and talk to us about her experience as a new gun owner, a new gun enthusiast who's building her repertoire of self-defense. And so we're going to bring her in. And for some reason, I'm trying to, I am the switcher for our show, and it was not switching. Maybe it's me, computer. I've been having computer issues. So, technology if it doesn't go as planned. But
You gotta talk nice to
with us
it.
today, our special guest is Monica Henderson, and she's with us about her as a new gun owner. Welcome, Monica.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hi,
Okay, trying to
Monica.
bring her in.
You there? We see you now.
Mhm.
Yes.
There she is. Welcome, Monica.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Phyllis. Good to see y'all.
You too. You too. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Now, Monica, you and I met at a regional gun competition or gun conference, firearm conference last summer, as a matter of fact. And
Yes.
since that time, it's like time flies, but it was a competition. We met a lot of people. They were it was held in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They're from as far away as Nevada, Oklahoma, Louisiana, all over Texas. Was that your first time in conference?
Yes, that was my first time at a gun conference. I was very excited because I never thought that I would find a group of people that look like me that was a gun group. So it's like, when I first started shooting, it's like I immediately started trying to find other people, other women, even, and then I gave up on finding other Black women. I just couldn't find anyone. And then I was like, are there other Black men who shoot guns? Because I'm like, I grew up in Louisiana, and I spent every summer on my grandparents' farm. And so the girls weren't invited to go hunting. We weren't allowed. We weren't invited. My papa was very old school about stuff like that. So girls didn't hunt, but there were guns all over the place and bullets. So I was comfortable around them. It's just that we really weren't allowed to shoot unless we had an older cousin or an uncle with us, and then they'd let us, maybe shoot a round or two, and that was about it. So I was comfortable with guns, and I knew not to touch them unless somebody was there with me. But I had never really owned my own gun and shot and, and worked towards any level of proficiency. So I first joined NAGA and then found out about the conference, was super excited when I joined NAGA, but I still hadn't found anybody in the DFW area. So when that conference happened and I met all these other like-minded individuals in the DFW area who, were at different levels of proficiency, some were teaching, some were newbies like me, my husband and I were just absolutely thrilled. It was just awesome. And then when I met you and I talked to another woman, I was like, I remember I talked to my husband that whole night. I was like, Jonte, there's no one, da da da. He's like, yes, I saw. That's great.
And you know what? It is cool. It's like at first when you think you're going to venture into this new arena, you do want to have somebody with you. It's like going to the gym. You don't want to go to the gym by yourself. You want somebody to go with you. And essentially we find that there are people who look like you and have the same desires to get better in a certain area. You are happy about that. And so I'm glad that you stumbled up on the conference. And NAGA, as a matter of fact, is the National African American Gun Association.
Yes.
And so that was their Southwest Regional Conference. And there are a lot of clubs that might be affiliated with NAGA and might not be affiliated with NAGA. How did you choose the gun club that you ended up joining? What was it about it that sparked your interest?
The Henry Johnson Gun Club. First off, there were so many of you affiliated with that particular gun club at that conference. And y'all were very chatty and very open and talked a lot about the gun club, talked a lot about gun ownership, talked about the different levels of people in your group, talked about the inclusiveness of even newbies, to professionals. So that was very exciting. And also the fact, like I said, the fact that for me, honestly, from a personal standpoint, it meant a lot to me that this was such a diverse group of people. These were people of color like me, and that was very important to me. I think far too often in this country, sometimes depending on where you live, as a person of color, you walk into the room or to an event, and you'll maybe be one of 50 or one of 1,000. Everyone else in the room is not a person of color. And I think with something like this, especially with something as important and serious as guns and gun ownership, it brought a level of comfort to me to know that there were people in the room that looked like me, that I could learn along with people that actually looked like me, because I knew we would have shared experiences, and that was very important.
Steph? Okay, she's fixing her camera. So can you still hear me?
I sure can. Yes.
Okay, great. Just
I
making
think we
sure.
lost Stephanie though.
Huh?
I think we may have lost Stephanie.
No, I'm still,
yeah.
I'm still here. I was just featuring Phyllis, trying to feature Phyllis, because sometimes with the switching and everything, because it's like you said, my Wi-Fi might be a little shaky, so I didn't want to keep going back and forth, so I just said, let me just go to Phyllis.
Okay. I'm sorry, because when it went to me, it like there was no noise for you. I was like, is she gone? But I was going to ask you a question. Do you EDC by chance?
I do not currently EDC. I do have my license. I've had it for not quite a year yet now. I don't, because I don't have the gun yet. I have two guns. I have a 22 and a 38, and they're both bulky on me. Even in my my gun belt, they're both pretty bulky. So I've been looking at a little compact 380 that I found that I'm probably going to get, and that's going to be my EPC, but I don't currently.
Okay. So you are comfortable with it though?
I'm comfortable with carrying. I'm comfortable with having in my car. The only thing I would not do, I respect other people. I do have some family members, friends that I know do not want a gun or an outside weapon, somebody else's weapon or a gun at all in their home. And I have respect for that. It's like I understand, people's decisions are their decisions, and I have full respect for that. So there's times when I would not carry into somebody's home, and stuff like that. But I'm comfortable with it though.
I was wondering about that one day because I had a friend of mine ask me when I got to their home, do you have a gun on you? And I was like, yes, I do. I always do. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, does it bother you? Because I'll go back outside and wait for you because I'm not leaving it out there and coming back in here. I'll wait for you out there with my gun, when you're getting in my car, so I'm not taking it home. And I like you, I don't know any of my family or friends that I know of that are uncomfortable with it. And like you said, most of them really, they're apprehensive, but they want to do it. And then once you do it, you're hooked. Am I right or wrong? And you want to take it as far as you can with your skill and your trainings. Now I want to ask you this. Now we had a competition, what was it, 2 Sundays ago?
It was 2 Sundays ago.
Yes, we had a competition 2 Sundays ago. So when you rank yourself as a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced shooter, since you've been shooting pretty much all throughout your life?
Yeah, I'm a pretty good shot at this point, but what I do need to get a lot better at something I hadn't really thought about until I was it was at the range with the gun club, with the Henry Johnson Gun Club, and we were moving and shooting.
Oh yes.
And and that's a whole nother can of worms. And it's like
those are the drills we love.
And I've learned to love those drills because I'm so bad at them. Once I start moving, it's like I will shoot, but it's like I will rarely hit that target. So I realized that about myself. And we were about to, right kind of when COVID hit, my husband and I were going to take a class. I was going to sign us up for a class on moving and shooting. It's like we could start working on that. One of the issues we have out where we live is we don't live near and close to an outdoor gun range. Oh, okay. So we're a member of an indoor gun range just because we got no choice. We used to live in Irving, so there was a really nice outdoor gun range there that we could go to. But it's like, so that's one of the harder things. And that range that the gun club normally goes to, it is about almost 2 hours from us. So it's pretty far out there. So, but we were going to go ahead and I told him, I said, we really do need to take a class, because if anything, that taught us that we're not good at moving, and very rarely are you going to be standing.
Exactly. That's what my teacher always says. In a real life situation, you're not going to be standing still. You're going to have to move.
Whatever it is you're shooting at.
Exactly. Everybody's moving. Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree.
So what I've been working on.
As a matter of fact, ladies, I was going to show you guys. I think this is video of me during the competition.
Awesome.
So, hold on.
Raven went first in this round, huh?
I think this is the one where I went first. And I went first because a lot of people, when the person, the lead, says, okay, who wants, and there's silence. Nobody wants to go first. I'm like, okay, just let me go first. Because at that point, Phyllis, I realized, okay, I'm not going to win. I might as well go ahead and go first.
But
get it out the way.
You know what? It wasn't even about the winning. It was, you learned a lot that day, didn't you?
The experience.
Yeah.
I, in fact, since that time, I've gotten with the person, in fact, who got third in the competition. AJ, he has a company called Triggered Response, and he is a licensed trainer. And so I did a session with him since the competition, and I have gotten so much better just off of that one training. So I'm going to show you this video, and we'll come right back.
All right, so you ready?
Let's go.
Correct.
Come on, sister. Come on. All right.
Okay, so now that video was kind of weird looking. I don't know why I was this. The point is, it was cold outside. It was like 10 degrees, so everybody was all right and stuff. But I just wanted to, jump on out there, and so I just learned about, there's just some techniques. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to give away because I'm trying to train for the next competition. So we're gonna talk about that later. But we got someone in the chat is saying something that I can't understand. You know how they'll come in crazy stuff. So I won't even try to figure that out. But so Monica, you and your husband enthused as you are about bringing firearms into your self-defense portfolio. What's his status on it?
Oh, he's a Navy vet, so he already had a nice little collection. So he already had a nice little collection. And so once he realized that, I have a cousin who's a retired Green Beret, and once he realized that, and he actually visited us and he talked to him, he said, "You need to talk to your cousin about guns." And my cousin Tony was like, "Okay, yeah." He said, "Don't you think it's about time you got you some guns or something, Monica?" And I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, he was already totally sold on it and had guns. And then he also is a big proponent of the fact that if there's guns in the household, whoever is in the household and is of a certain age, if you're talking about kids, but if you have adults in the household, every adult needs to know how to handle that weapon properly.
I agree. You ever thought about being in a competition, lightweight competition?
A lightweight competition, yeah. It's like I would absolutely show up. I would probably not win at all, but I would definitely show up just for the experience. And to get that under my belt. So yeah, I do want to take more classes and become more proficient. It's like I would love training with females, like for right now. I like training with women, and I've taken a class or two with a lady, and I'm going to take some more for sure.
Okay, well, stay tuned to Second Amendment Sis on our Facebook page, because we got something coming up for the ladies up in March.
Okay. In March, you said?
Yes, in March. Okay. Because there is a competition, there's an all-ladies competition coming up in April called the Texas Tea, which is hosted by the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Last year, we participated in that competition, and it was called the Texas Toast. So now the All Ladies is going to be the Texas Tea, and that's what we are going to be pushing for and training for. So we've got us a while to get it together and tighten up our skills. It's all pistols, all ladies. So the guys are going to train us and give us what we need to be, right?
Okay, that sounds good. So the training part is going to be in March.
Well, yes, we're going to have a training class in March. We'll have training classes all throughout February and March, with various range days with different clubs. And we always post everything on Second Amendment Sis, trying to support everybody, making sure that not just women, but everybody gets in training and education and knowledge and whatever it is that they're looking for at whatever level. So you can find that on our page, and like we just encouraging each other, because a lot of times you talk yourself out of doing something because you think you don't know how, or you're afraid. And once I got started, you can't move me now. Like Sunday, I trained, and my mentor let me shoot his 308, and I tell you, the ammunition was the size of my finger.
Oh, wow.
And when it came out, it was just so loud. My daughter was like, "Was that a cannon?" I was like, "Pretty much." But I got a few things, so I was just so proud of myself. When you keep taking yourself to that next level and you be able to do things you never thought you could. So I encourage you to keep pushing. Take your time, get you some good equipment, because that matters a lot. You'll go through a lot of junk before you realize this is not working. It's not efficient.
Yeah.
Spend the money. You spend the money for it once, you won't have to do it again.
Exactly. And I'm definitely going to check out your Facebook page then.
I put up the poster, Phyllis and Monica, of is it going to be called? You said it's Texas Teen
Tactical Competition.
So I put up that poster. So it is happening in April, but we are not, just check back with us on more details. April 17th, all female participants, $50 entry fee, and pistols only. Because the competition that we were in a couple of days, Sundays ago, they had the rifle expert and pistols. So this one will just be. So I plan to participate in this as well.
Yes. Now this one is the first 15 ladies. So this was going to fill up really fast. And I told him, I said, you're going to have to do 2, because that's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. But I think it's.
Now, was that last competition, was that y'all's first competition you participated in?
That was my second.
It was my first. Okay. It was my first, yeah.
So I see we have someone in the chat. Who's this?
Well, I know we had someone who wanted to ask a question, but I don't see her in there. If you want to ask your live question, we did send out the link. I'll put it in the chat again. Let me see if I can put that in the chat for you and get your questions answered. You can write in or you can call in. It's and be on live with Monica and Phyllis and myself.
Yes.
So
I'm checking for messages.
I'm sorry, you said what?
I was checking the person that was in the private chat. They were sending me a message.
Oh, okay.
Well, come back.
In the meantime, I know that we talked about the National African American Gun Association. They just started publishing a new periodical, new magazine called Caliber, and this is the first edition. And so, if you are a member of NAGA or not a member of NAGA, this magazine, this is my actual edition. It is full of great information, books to read, talking about people across the country who have incorporated marksmanship and gun ownership and in their self-defense plan. They've got information about just from different points of view, a family family with four girls, 4 sisters, and what they have done to educate and train their children to be better at self-defense. So it's awesome at what's going on, because what I've noticed, Monica and Phyllis, is that when it comes to mainstream media, they often portray, when they talk about African Americans, Black people, and guns, oftentimes they portray it as Black people with guns are criminals. And so it's kind of like a sword. They, for people who are not, it makes them more afraid. It makes them have a negative stereotype towards us. And for people who are African American, they're like, oh, I don't want to be known as a criminal, so I don't want a gun. I don't want no guns near me. And then that goes back, Monica, which, I don't know who you're talking about, or, not talking specifically about those people, but it goes back to what you said in that some people are like, no, don't bring no gun in the house. No, don't do that in the third. And it's like most of the crimes, a lot of the crimes against Black people are because guns are being used on us. So, whether it's from law enforcement or whether it's from some type of personal type crime. So it's our right to have to bear arms and defend ourselves. So that's another reason why I thought it was important to start this podcast, is because we want to help people be more familiar with the process. We're not attorneys, we're not trying to advise you legally, but we're saying, the Constitution right to bear arms like everybody else has. So don't mistake it as you're doing something wrong because you're in possession of a weapon, because it's not the case.
Exactly. And making sure that if you're going to do it, we have people, just everyday people, who carry and know how to operate and can protect themselves. Like I said, there are a lot of single women, there are a lot of college students, both male and female, that need to know how to defend themselves, because when that bad person comes, he's not going to look at you and go, oh, you look too nice for me to rob. He's going to rob you. He's going to take whatever he can take, and he pulling the gun on you if he feels like that's what he's got to do to get it.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I think gun clubs are so important, because gun clubs can teach you how to legally, first of all, legally obtain, get your license, carry, and then gun clubs, everybody in the gun club encourages everybody else to learn, to become proficient.
Yes.
So like they can tell you about classes, shooting times. They can tell you, it's like you can train, just going out to the range and having someone to practice with is important. And I think that's important, especially for our community, for gun clubs, because it teaches the proper information, because there's a lot of not just the negative stereotypes, there's a lot of incorrect information out there.
Oh, a lot. Stephanie, did you get the video I sent you of the cop, the security guard who's always giving the bad safety tactics? I sent you the video. I said, this is the guy.
Yes, you did, and I did not upload that, but I will try to upload it so we can discuss that in a future show. Just because I was confused. Right? Okay, so and maybe Monica might be more aware of this person, but essentially it was a spoof. It was like a video of what to do in case somebody pulls a gun on you. And then in the reenactment, like the how to defend yourself version of it went well. But if you actually try to do it, then you would end up probably getting hurt because you didn't do it the right way.
You're gonna get dead. You're gonna get dead because his advice is ill-advised. I know you've seen him. It's the guy is a black guy and he has a thick mustache. And he'll tell you to do something stupid if somebody puts a gun to your head. Okay, you just grab it, and then you twist it around, and you take it home. Really? And then some of the spoofs were people doing it, and then they would cut to them going up the pearly gates into the clouds because they are dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Stephanie had never seen it before, but it is hilarious. And they say he's gotten rich off of that. I'm like, is he serious though? But he's for real. Like he literally has a company and everything.
So he's not doing it to make fun?
No, ma'am. He is making money. He's making fun. He's making money. I posted one last week where there was a white guy, he was training in an indoor range, and he held this big 45 up to his face and he shot it off and he hit himself in the face with it. Did you see that one?
No, no.
Oh, girl, it's this a lot out there, and I'm like, people are really going to these people and paying them top dollar. And somebody said, whoever was filming it said, "Did you mean to do that?" And he said, "Yeah, I meant to do that." And the other guy like, I'm getting, I'm getting out of here. I was like, see, this will be my luck. Something like that happen in the range, and see, I'd be like, no. I need for everybody to know what they are doing in here.
Now, do y'all primarily go to indoor ranges or outdoor?
I love outdoor, to be honest.
Well, and you know what? I see the benefits of going to an outdoor range over an indoor range, but because I live in the city, the indoor range is up the street from me. Instead of me driving an hour to get out of town, I'll just go up the street because I mean, like, it makes sense. But I do see the benefit of going out because what I learned and I didn't realize is they have in indoor, they have a controlled way they want to fire the gun, because one of the things that I learned at the competition is that they time you on hitting the target. You know, like you have a minute or you have 45 seconds to hit 20 to shoot 20 times, and so you don't.
In an indoor range.
So in the indoor range, you can't practice like by fully.
They don't allow rapid firing.
Thank you. They don't allow rapid firing indoors. But so if you wanted to practice that technique and get better, then you have to go to a range outdoors. So that's one of the reasons that I went ahead. Yeah, and you can move outdoors versus indoors. You're just in that little stall. So that's one of the reasons commitment to meet a trainer at an outdoor range, and so I did. It was worth the drive and worth the time that I took.
Yes, so much. I like it so much more. I don't feel as confined, and I'm not so worried about what the next person's doing in the bay next to me because we're so close, in such close quarters. I'm just not. I don't like it. I'm not, I'll bundle up and go outside. I will bundle up and go outside because it's not going to stay cold forever. At some point, I'm going to warm up or I'm going to leave, right? And I feel if I'm that uncomfortable, I'll leave or I just won't go, And I like it, and it gives you so much more flexibility in your training time. That you can cover a lot of ground and a lot of different things in one day, and in per visit, and work with other people, groups of people. Whereas you can't do that in an indoor range. The space is so limited. I don't like it. I don't like the confines of it. I don't know what he over here doing, And some people,
what else? Another reason I do like indoor ranges is because they have like ladies' night, and so on ladies' night you can try different weapons. You either get free, you get to try weapons free as long as you buy bullets. And so that way, that allows me to go in and try different guns and see how they feel in my hand. And do I want to, invest in this, or no, I don't ever want to invest in that. So let's be able to try different things. But so there are pros and cons to indoor and outdoor ranges. But definitely, we've already said dry firing at home. As a matter of fact, I'm laughing because the guy that I was training with, AJ, he said somebody, definitely have to make sure your gun is empty, because somebody thought they were dry firing and ended up shooting through the walls. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but you definitely, you always have to make sure. And so anyway,
Do you practice dry firing, Monica?
No, I do not practice dry firing. I do. I'm at the point now where I can clean my gun myself. So that was a big step for me. I came
Yeah.
clean to myself. I haven't really practiced dry firing, but I do need to add that in. I do need to add
Yeah.
that.
It's something that
I've been
I've
probably
been
over
doing.
focusing on target practice, because it's like
Yeah.
I'm at the indoor major. I've probably been overly focused on that. So
I think you should add it. Yeah, it makes a big difference in just changing out your empty magazines. Just transitioning, changing them out, dropping them, changing them out. I've gotten so fast with it that when I do drills, when I'm training or at the range, I have such a comfort level now that I'm just so proud of myself. I'm like, oh, I dropped that one and replaced it with no problem. It becomes habit.
Yep.
I just do it at home a lot. I take a couple of virtual classes, and yeah, it's really been beneficial for me. So I'm going to be ready for this next competition.
Challenge.
So when we do this, yeah,
we hope to see you out there as well. It's a friendly competition, and as soon as we can, go ahead and register, because it is a limited amount of people, and we'll be getting you more information about that. In fact, Phyllis, we're going to have on the person who's putting it on. We're going to have him on in February, correct?
No, it's going to be we want to do it a little closer to the competition. In April, because their schedule has changed. So for February, we will be having the person on that's going to be holding the all ladies camp, handgun camp. So we're in talks to get a date for that, because then we'll do the class in March. Because she's out of Houston with Family of Ties 2A. Her name is Stephanie Marie. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's going to we're going to get together a class. A lot of ladies were asking just yesterday. And so I said, well, let me just ask the question, because she said, should I do a class in Dallas? And I was like, of course. Yes, you should. And as soon as I posted it, people were like, I want in. And so we're going to get it together for the ladies, because, there are people.
Is that on the Second Amendment Sis Facebook site as well? That information?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
ma'am. That's where you'll see all the postings. So just keep watching on the post, turn on your notifications. And as soon as we upload the flyer for the date, time, place, and everything, I think it'll be neat. She brings some valuable information. She's a lady, we're ladies, and we want to definitely promote and support each other for sure.
Most definitely. So, Monica, is there anything that you want to share with us and advice to someone who's on the fence about getting involved and expanding their self-defense portfolio with guns and gun safety?
I think when I think self-defense, guns is definitely a part of it. So it's like guns are just as safe, I think, as anything else. It's the knowledge behind it, right? So if you're kind of on the fence about guns, are a little wary, a little scared of them, you really shouldn't be. What you should be scared of is ignorance. Get into your gun training. Definitely get into your gun training. Understand that if I buy this gun and these bullets, I'm buying these guns and these bullets and training at the same time.
Right.
So that needs to go hand in hand. That needs to go hand in hand. And then as long as you do that and you practice and keep practicing, it's like there's no reason for you to be afraid of it. There's no reason at all for you to be afraid of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. Go ahead, Phyllis.
I was saying the more that you're around it, the more confidence you have with it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree. So to find out if do you post any of your activities on your social media? If someone wants to follow you, where can they find you, Monica?
I actually do not post my gun training, honestly, on my social media. I don't. And I do not, because when I first posted, I think, it was a long time ago. I was still living in Irving. It was probably about 4 years ago or so. It's like I got a lot of unwanted attention from a lot of unwanted people.
Okay.
So I did not feel that that was the group of people I wanted to be around or affiliated with. It was a little kind of crazy. It was a little, instead of it being more of the NAGA and the Henry Johnson Gun Club mindset, it was more of the NRA mindset. And to me, those are
Okay.
totally different mindsets. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I
totally
agree.
different mindsets. One of them teaches safety and learning and proficiency and security, and one of them teaches just go out there and shoot. And I'm like, so I got a lot of unwanted attention about stuff like that. So I do follow. I follow Henry Johnson, and I follow a lot of instructors and stuff like that with my social media, but I don't post about it anymore.
Understood.
But I do talk to anybody who, anybody who mentions that they're interested in a gun or thinking about gun training and gun safety. I definitely talk to them about it and encourage them and show them the different social media sites to go and get extra information. That's why I'm glad to learn. I didn't realize that y'all also had a Facebook site, so I'm glad to learn that.
Yes, we do.
Because I definitely have some ladies that I can share that information with. Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to ask, I looked up to make sure, are you Monica Henderson on Facebook?
No, I'm not. I'm connected to you. I'm Moni Hen on Facebook. It's like I kept my Facebook account. I don't even post on Facebook. I kept it because it's like all the groups are on Facebook. Groups are on Facebook, so that's where you get your information from, including both sides of my family has all their information and family reunion stuff. So that's where I get my information from. But yeah,
So
I'm on it.
We'll try to send you an invitation so that you can join us.
I'll look you up right after this. I'll look up. Is the name Second Amendment Sis on Facebook?
2ND Sis. I mean 2ND Amendment.
Yes, it's 2ND Amendment Sis. Yes.
So I should have put, I'm all over the place. I should have put 2ND Amendment Sis for the name for the banner, but I didn't. I was ripping and running, trying to do stuff. So anyway,
they know who we is. They see it.
All right, ladies, and Phyllis, Monica, we appreciate you taking out the time. So I hope to see you at the next gun range day. When we have that, I think it's February 5th, something like that. So I hope to see you there. If not, we'll see you at the competition in April.
Absolutely. That one for sure, for certain.
Take care.
All right, ladies. I enjoyed this. Thank you so much. And thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a good one. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Y'all too.
All right, so just me and you, Phyllis, and that went well. I'm glad we got a chance to talk to a new person. She gave a different perspective than the guests we've had on previously. And a lot of people still, when she said the part about people are not, don't want you to bring a gun in your house, people, there probably are people like that, but I'm like,
I ain't never thought about it. I've never thought about it. I've never once thought somebody was going to tell me, you can't come in my house with that gun. I remember my mother saying it to some of her friends, the boy friends coming. He can't come in here with that gun because we knew his paperwork wasn't in order, and he wasn't supposed to have it. So back then, that's a different story, right? With me, my paperwork in order, and why I can't come in here with it, So I just, it never dawned on me.
I'm thinking it's concealed. I don't have it like straight. I'm not coming in like the police or nothing like
so. You can like the butt of it hanging out my pocket so you can see it. No, you don't even know I got it. I do just make I've taken the class and I've gotten licensed. Don't be looking at me sideways. I bet you ain't gonna mind me having it when something jump off.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I bet you won't be nothing, but don't bring it in you can't have that in my car. You can have it in my house. Honey, look. She told me I gotta go outside with it. I said, well, I'm gonna wait outside because I'm not leaving it out there and me waiting here. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I wait on you in the car. You better not take too long because we are leaving.
I know that's
We
right.
are leaving.
Right.
Yeah, your time is up. I can't, I'm so used to it. I went to my daughter's school the other day and I forgot I can't go in with it. Went to take her some lunch and lift the place up. Everybody was looking and all the ladies were like, oh, do you carry? Oh my God, where'd you go? And I was like, oh, okay. Let me get a list of y'all's names. Hold on. Let's get y'all signed up. Yeah, because if something pops up at her school, because she's asked me that question, what do we do if, how do we defend ourselves, because she goes to the range too, and that's hard to explain to kids, and if I know I would feel better if I thought the whole front office was strapped.
You know what? It's kind of like what we were talking about with another guest earlier when she was training, and she said the church had a gun right in the back of the church. I doubt anybody's gonna walk up in their church trying to shoot when they know they're strapped.
You dig what I'm saying?
With you being a parent, you would know that. I know at one point they were talking about certain teachers or the front office carrying weapons in case of a school active shooter. Was that just talk, or are they doing that in Texas, or do you know about anything about that?
I do not know. Honestly, I don't know, but I do know that if I were a teacher, I would, if it's in me to do it, I would carry. I would. If it were to only to be able to protect the classroom and the children that are in the classroom with me, but then this is Texas. There could be plenty of people walking throughout the school. It's just not saying anything,
Correct.
Just like at church. Nobody goes in church and say, and pull their jacket back. Not these days, But that last shooter that they had in that small town and in the church, and he was able to, fatally shoot one person, but they got him before he was able to do anything else.
Right.
And then think about it. A long time ago, that was the norm to carry a gun to church. They put their gun on like they put their boots on.
And they put a gun in their boot.
Right. Exactly. Put one in their boot for sure. So I just want to, I don't want to hear any more of those stories. That's why, it's you want to be able to fight back, and it definitely evens the playing field, or levels it, either way, when it comes down to it, I'm not thinking twice, so they better not, and I'm getting better and better at it. I shot with a red dot for the first time too Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And it is not an automatic acquisition because you have to find that dot. You have to find that spot and acquire it,
right. You have to adjust because the red dot is under where your line of fire is. So you have to adjust to that. So
But I did pretty good. I had to acquire 6 shots. Yeah, 6. 2 at 25 yards and then 4 at 40, and I made all of them. I was yay!
Well, good.
All I know is iron sights. So now I'm like, okay, I think I can do a red dot. So if I get proficient in my iron sights, then you won't be able to do nothing with me with that red dot. But I think it's important to develop that raw skill without all the bells and whistles, because if you can shoot raw, then you can shoot.
I agree. A lot of people, speaking of, the bells and whistles, these cars that have the indicator on the rear view, on the side view mirror that there's somebody there. I know there's such a thing as a blind spot, But that's
Yeah.
why you turn around and you look over your shoulder before you check things. I don't need some things I don't want help with because it's gonna make me lazy, and I don't want
Yeah.
to be lazy.
And
So
that's me. I don't want to handicap myself by overcompensating with the law. And I love gadgets. Don't get me wrong. I love a gadget, but there's nothing like raw skill and raw intuition. Even if I have my car does
I
that
agree.
when the light, that little yellow light comes on, but I still look. I still look.
Exactly. Yeah. My cars are too old. But if I got, they got some of these cars that back up for you and all that. I'm like, okay, y'all doing too much. Too much. I don't need that much help.
Yeah.
I need, if you want to help me pay the mortgage.
Okay, let me do something. I don't want a Tesla. I don't want something driving me. My nerves too bad for that. I can't do it. I let someone else. When we went on the camping trip, a good friend was driving, right? And she probably watching. I said, oh, they say I drive too slow. I'm a safe driver. I've never had a ticket in my life. So they say I drive too slow. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll let you drive back. We made it from the cabin to the gas station. I said, come on, little mama, hand me them keys. I ain't gonna be able to do it. I can't do it. I cannot. When I tell you my nerves were bad, I'm limited on what I will allow other people to do for me. And it's nice to have somebody else driving me around. If I don't feel like they're about to kill me, they're
Right.
relaxing while they drive. Some things I gotta do myself. I can't depend on what people else to do. And my safety is one of those things. For sure.
I agree. Well, Phyllis, it's been great catching up, and I'm glad we again had a chance to talk to a new person. And our schedule, we're still going to be on Wednesdays. Have a show for you. Sometimes it'll be recorded, sometimes it'll be live. So hopefully it'll be Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So we will see everyone next week, same time. Same platform.
And how. And you stay safe this week. Enjoy the rest of the week. Get you some training in this weekend.
Definitely. All right, you too. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, next week. Take care.